In this episode of Toysbackzen, we're going to be taking this Mattel Cylon Raider ship and restore it. These were made in 1978 by Mattel. They made two styles of toys. They made a 3 3/4 line, and then they made this line, which was much smaller. The figures were around 2 inches. And that's annoying for some of us because as a 3 3/4 inch collector, I would have loved to have them make these ships in that size. That's okay though. I'm going to be taking this ship, which I got probably in a toy lot, I believe like 7-8 years ago, and I've been waiting a long time to complete this. I've always looked for parts at toy shows, flea markets, and I never find them. And what is a restoration compared to a fix anyway? You're taking an object and putting it back to its original functionality and look from when it was originally made. And whether you're using new old stock parts to do that, or you're using repro parts, that's up to you what you think a restoration is. But sometimes you can't get parts for certain things when you're trying to restore them. So you have to buy parts that look original but have been made new. So let's take a visual inspection of this toy. It is really dirty, really dirty. And you can see here that the missiles stay in when you push the buttons. This is the second version of this toy. The first version had missiles that fired out and a child died from choking, and so they made it so that the missiles didn't fire anymore. And this is one of those. You can see here that it's missing all of the wheels, and we have 5 screws that hold the bottom in place. Also, you can see a copyright here, Mattel, 1978, Universal Studios, made in Hong Kong. This thing is really dirty. I've been really busy 3D printing again, and I printed off this canopy. I think it looks fantastic. This is my first 3D print in black, and I think it looks really great. I also 3D printed some new wheels because I'm going to need 3 wheels and I only have 2 originals. And if I screw up the repair on the original ones, then I printed off an extra one. So we've got 4 wheels to use. We'll repair the original ones, and we'll make our decision when we put them in what ones we're going to use out of the 4. So we got to put the canopy in. We need a new sticker. There's actually tape on this toy. I think a child used tape to tape the wings together so that they wouldn't open. And we have to remove this tape. I'm going to try to keep the original stickers. So we have to try to remove the tape off the stickers and clean this up. Plus there's like 40-year-old tape residue on this that has to be also deep cleaned. So I think that's all the things that we need to do. Let's take this thing apart. All right, let's open up this Raider and see what it looks like inside. I've never opened one of these up before, so it seems to me like it's pretty minimal. Not a lot going on inside. can see the top and the bottom. Next step is we have to take apart these missile launchers. They're held together with one screw. And I'm kind of curious to see how these actually fit together. And I'm just noticing that the screw that holds the missile launchers together is different than the original 5 that held the body together. So we want to keep those screws separate because they're a different length. Let's open this up. With a closer investigation, we can see that there's a large spring, and the button has a small spring that holds it up, and then you push the button down and it releases the missile. But the missile has been changed. Here's a 3D print of an original missile, and you can see that there's 2 little tabs on either side of the missile that holds it in place when you push the button, where if you have the 3D printed missile here that I have, this would be what the original one would look like, that child swallowed, and that fires pretty fast. I'm going to think about whether I'm going to alter these missiles to make it fire, or if I'll just use my 3D printed one here. I only printed 1 missile, so I'm going to have to print a second one if I decide to go that route. So there are 2 metal springs in here, a large one and a small one. Let's take this apart, and we're going to clean everything. So I'm also going to have to clean these springs. They're kind of rusted. And a disappointing thing is I was going to put the canopy in by pulling this black top piece off, but the plastic has been mushroomed in the front, and it's not coming off. So unless I destroy the mushrooms and then redo the mushrooms later on the plastic. But I may have to figure out a different way of putting this on without breaking the plastic that's on the original ship or breaking the tabs that are on the 3D printed canopy. I'll have to think about that for a bit, which route I'm going to do. But we'll see. I don't really want to take the black piece off of the top. Okay, so everything has been carefully cleaned with a toothbrush, water, and some dish soap. And I was very careful not to damage the stickers, so I did not immerse those in water. I just used my toothbrush very carefully and cleaned around the stickers. To clean the springs, we're going to use some of this pure white vinegar. I'm just going to pour a little bit in there and let it sit for an hour or so, and that should clean all of the loose rust off of these and make them look a little better. And it'll make them function better too, because they won't be all corroded. And those look better already, so that's great. Let's go back to the workbench. All right, so the next step is taking the sticker off and all the tape off. I do have to replace the sticker. And you can see that there is some discoloration in the wings. We're not going to change the discoloration. We're not going to fix that. We're going to just leave that the way it is. But the stickers are in pretty good shape, the ones that are still on here. So we're going to keep those stickers, even though I could get replacements for all of them. We're going to keep the original ones. I like to keep the original stickers if I can, even if they're not the best. I just like that. So I'm just going to take my needle nose pliers here and very carefully pull the tape off of the toy, and I'm pulling it off pretty much in a 180-degree angle so that I'm not pulling up on the toy. I'm pulling forward on it. Not only is this going to protect the stickers that the tape is on, but then it'll also keep the tape from continuing to break as I'm trying to pull it off in one piece. I'm just going to take my finger and pull just a corner of that tape up very carefully just to expose a piece. These stickers seem to be like a vinyl, so they're probably a pretty robust sticker, even though I noticed that the sticker that's missing has got like a paper on the back of it. So very carefully pulling at a 180-degree angle backwards and taking my time, especially on the edges. We don't want to tear the edges, so pulling it off at an angle is a good idea. Those came off way better than I expected they would. I'm just going to take my finger and just try to clean this off a bit. It's got a vinyl top on the sticker, so I'm going to pull the vinyl top off, and I'm going to be, of course, removing all of the residue, the sticker residue, tape residue, and the old tape residue that's been on there for about 40 years. I'm going to be using lighter fluid to take that off, but I need to get the vinyl off first. So I've got that plastic part of the sticker off. That's what it looks like. It's probably what saved these stickers over time. And I'm just going to get some Zippo lighter fluid, is the stuff that I like to use, and a cotton swab, and we'll just clean this up. Okay, that took a while, but it looks way better. You can see where I removed the sticker that the wing has discolored, and underneath the sticker was the original color. So the next thing is I want to use the original tires, the 2 that I have, even though I do need 3. So I'm going to take a piece of Lego. This is a small antenna Lego. I used this in my last video, but these have starting to become very useful in toy restoring and toy fixing. So I'm going to be using that. So I'm just going to take my pin vise here, put a bit on it that's going to allow me to put that Lego piece in the wheel and glue it in, and there's my first one. Let's make the second one while that one's drying. So all you need to do is drill a hole through the tire or the wheel. It's a wheel with a tire on it, looks like. Drill that through, and you want to try to keep it in the center. If you don't keep it in the center, when you roll the vehicle, it's going to be all wobbly on the table. So you want it to get right in the center as much as possible. A little bit of glue. And I'll let those dry for a few hours. I want to make sure that that glue is really dry and strong. So here are all of our parts. cleaned. I pretty much have decided what I'm going to do with this vehicle. So we're just going to put that spring on, and I'm just going to twist it on. And you can see here that there's an R for right, so this is the right side. When you put the button in there, you want to make sure that the spring goes down first. Here I put the button in incorrectly, and then I tried it out and it didn't quite work. So let's turn it around. The spring goes into the slot first, and then that way when you push on it, it retracts back up. That's how it's supposed to work. So you've got the large spring in there, the small spring on the button, and you just put the cover on. The cover also has an R for right, so you're making sure you're putting the right cover on the right wing. And then we've got that screw that's different than the other 5. We want to make sure we use the correct screw to attach the top of the missile launcher. Cool. Let's try it out. That works really good. Now that we have both wings put together, so first, before we put everything together, we need to put in the wheels. I've got 2 original wheels that actually turned out pretty good, and I'm going to use a 3D printed wheel. Now the axles are different size. I believe it's the axle opening in the body is longer on the left side than on the right side, and it just so happens that when I made the axles on this wheel, one side is longer than the other, so I'm just going to flip it around so it fits in there. That's accidental. That was by coincidence that happened that way. But my 3D printed ones, I just cut the axle a little tiny bit because they seem to be a little bit too long, and they fit in there just perfect. So now we need to fit the wings on there. There's a little tab. I'm going to flip this over here and let you see it. There's a little tab right there, and that fits into that little slot in the bottom of the body. Pretty simple. The trick is to make sure that the wheels are still in there while I have the wings in place without everything falling out. My wheel moved here just a sec. Let me put that wheel back in there. And then let's put the top on. That was really simple. I'm doing a restoration right now on a different toy, and this toy is way easier to put together than the one that I'm working on right now, and I'll be releasing that video probably this weekend, so stay tuned for that. That was a challenge getting that other toy together, but it was fun. All right, it's together. It rolls, seems to roll pretty good. Now we're going to deal with the missiles. I do like the black missiles, but I'm going to alter these original missiles to make them so that they fire like the original first version I usually don't alter original parts on toys, but because the original first version of this toy is exactly what I'm doing to these missiles, I'm okay with that. Besides, they made millions of these. I see these all the time, all over the place. But they're always missing tires, and they're usually missing the canopy. That turned out really good. I just filed those pieces off after I cut them, and it looks like an original missile. And that fires really well. So I'm going to do that to the second missile. And here we go. We got both missiles. This thing is starting to take shape. Now, originally, I wanted to put this canopy on while it was open. And you can see that these tabs are there, but they're not going to fit in these little spots on the body. And a lot of times you'll see this body is broken where those tabs of the canopy go in because they're getting pulled by the by kids, and it breaks the body. So I'm going to file these tabs on an angle in the back so I can force fit them in. And we're going to push that in, and that fits really good. That's a really tight fit. The person that made this 3D print of this canopy and wheels, I'm going to put their link in the description underneath because they did a really good job making this part. Next, we need to make a new sticker. And, well, where can you get stickers for these? Toy Polloi. That's where you can get it. I wanted to acknowledge him on my channel today. He just hit 50,000 subscriptions, and I wanted to congratulate him on this video for that. And he makes free stickers for this toy. If you just go to toypolloi.com, you can download these stickers, and I think that's going to be a great look. I just sent him some items too just recently, and every time you send him something, he sends you something back. He's just such a nice guy, and he sent me all of this Toy Polloi stuff. I'm sure this book will come in handy. I got some pins, a sticker. And this is my second card that I've gotten from him. So now I have 2 cards. He's got a collection of cards that you can get. And here's number 2. My book, more pins, and sticker. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. And congratulations on your 50K. I'm only going to use one sticker here. It is a little bit of a different color than the original, but that's probably from fading and sun damage from play over the years and sitting in a box in an attic or whatever. But this sticker is like the exact size, and I think it's going to look great. So I'm going to use this, and this will complete my vehicle. Actually, I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to line the bottom up with a straight line of the left side of the wing. And that looks much better. Wow, I'm really happy with this toy. It came out way better than I thought it would. And the canopy looks fantastic. The stickers look great. The tires and the wheels turned out really well. It's nice and shiny. and the modification of the missiles. Let's see how they work here. Perfect shots, and they are nice. I'm really happy with this. You can see in the background I have a Viper. I'm in the middle right now of 3D printing some new parts for that. And you should see a fix or restoration of this vehicle pretty soon. Actually, I have 2 of them to fix. So that's it. That's the end of this video. Thanks for watching this episode of Toysbackzen. If you like this video, please like it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these toys and this fix or restoration. And thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.